everybody. Welcome back to another episode of You Haven't Seen That Podcast, or YHST for short. I'm Isaac.
I'm Elva.
And I'm Carlos.
And this is a show where we cover movies on that growing list of films that has people asking us the question,
You haven't seen that?
A breakdown edition. It's been a long time since we've done this. And for those of you who aren't familiar, that means we're just talking about a movie, or in this case, two movies. And we're not doing, a scene for scene breakdown. I know I say that all the time, but if anyone's like, jumping back and forth from old episodes to new ones, you're going to learn that the format's completely different. And this is just more conversational. That's because we're lazy to do the homework and take notes and do research. And as fun as it was for people to listen to, and thank you for those who enjoyed those earlier episodes, I'm not fucking ever doing that ever again, because that was like 3-hour recording sessions.
And you know what? It's just too goddamn hot right now.
yeah. Happy middle of the summer. It's the fucking hottest week so far, and I'm like, thanks to the power of editing, there's a lot of background hum that we're getting rid of, which is like our fans and ACs that are going. And so this episode's going to be relatively short, even though we're talking about two movies, and those two movies are...
What about Bob?
And...
Clifford, not about the big red dog.
You fuckers. Yeah. So what inspired this was when we did Three Amigos, which was, go back and listen to that. We had our friend Eric from Little Wins Big Spirit _ on Instagram add a little splash of class to your event. I just love saying that. Sorry. But shout out to Eric. So when we did that one, I realized that there was a handful of Martin Short and Steve Martin movies that me personally I haven't seen. And the one that for whatever reason just popped up into the forefront of my brain was Clifford. Because I remember I've seen like a clip of it, thanks to social media. And it's the part in the movie where Charles Grodin's telling him to like, just be normal. Can you just act normal? And he's doing like a weird face. Fucking one of the funniest scenes in the movie. But I realized like I've seen it when I was a kid, but I don't remember all the details of it. And so now as a full grown adult with a podcast, why not go back and watch that?
I just have not heard of either of these movies, period.
Even What About Bob?
Yeah, neither of these.
Bro, this is one of those movies that we had on VHS, and I would watch it. I don't know why my parents would let me, as a kid, just watch it. Maybe that explains a lot of my neuroses.
I heard What About Bob, but I've never heard of Clifford.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. So you're out on points.
What? Why you got to single me out, man?
Why has it got to be a competition?
I was like the latest addition to the show. Well, it's been like 7 months now, but you can't treat me like that.
You know what though? No, like jokes aside, like this is exactly why we do the podcast. It's why we originally started the podcast, is because we all indeed collectively have a huge list of movies that we got to get around to see, which is why for future episodes of these sort of breakdowns, I'm going to try to make them double features. Maybe it's triple features, Lord of the Rings. So that way we can just kind of like knock them out and like, again, I don't want it to be, I know I'm talking too much about like how the sausage is made, but for those who are interested in like listening to these rewatches or whatever, I don't want them to be like a homework assignment and going into like a scene for scene breakdown, but just a general feel of the thing, because ultimately I'm never going to do the movie justice. So hopefully it's inspiration enough for you to go see the movie.
Yeah. Like honestly, after having watched these two movies with you guys, I'm like, this was a good pairing. Yeah, like these, I just had a real great time with these, and I would say, not to get ahead of myself with my overall impressions, but yeah, for anyone interested in these movies, never heard of them, these are a good pairing. Like you'll have a great time with both of these together.
Yeah. So going back to it again, I chose this one because after we did Three Amigos and he had Martin Short in there, like it just, my brain sparked like, oh, wait. There's these two movies that have a sort of a through line where in the 90s, although Clifford was in
94.
Okay, so in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
In these early 90s, for whatever reason, we loved movies with high charismatic lead actors that are assholes. That you're really not supposed to like them, but in these movies, everyone else likes them, and there's always that one person who knows that they're a piece of shit. And they are. They're really pieces of shit. They
really are companion pieces because they do have similar leads. Similar. They're very special in their own way.
They're both manipulative. Easy for me to say. Manipulative. And there's things to love and there's things to hate about this. So let's go and kick it off first with what about Bob?
What about him?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Gotta love it. Yeah. If you want us to stop doing the podcast, go ahead and visit us on social media at
Why Just Eat Pod
on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube if we are so fucking annoying. Also, yeah, by the way, support us. We highly appreciate it. It helps grow the podcast. I know people have been asking about doing video. We can only do that if you help us out financially. You can do that on Venmo at
Why Just Eat Pod.
And we thank you in advance.
So please don't let us starve.
I'm starving.
I want to get a studio. All right, so let's kick it off with What About Bob? It is directed by Frank Oz, which
blew my mind.
Could you tell people who Frank Oz is?
It's Yoda. It's Master Yoda.
Get out of town.
That's my micro impression for the episode.
I will say, as far as these two movies, Clifford and What About Bob, even though What About Bob came out 3 years prior, it's the better looking movie.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. It's cinematography. I mean, if you want to get technical, I felt like What About Bob was the newer movie that came out later before Clifford. Even looking at the posters, the Clifford poster looks like an 80s film.
That's why a second ago where I was like, what year is it? And I was kind of surprised that it was 94. Which Clifford was directed by Paul Flaherty. That sounds familiar.
There's no Wikipedia link on him, so you have to look on IMDb.
Clifford, Who's Harry Crumb, 18 Again, The Best of SCTV. So he's done some stuff. I don't know. It just sounds so familiar. Anyways, you guys do your own research. Again, we're not doing the research. It's just on the fly, and we're just kind of talking about it. What about Bob? So it looks great. It's led by Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. I was introduced to Richard Dreyfuss in this movie as a kid, so I only knew him as this like uptight, older person. And by the way, and I'm going to do this throughout the movie, I say older, but I looked at their ages when they filmed this movie, and everyone is like Bill Murray's in his late 30s, Richard Dreyfuss is in his 40s, the daughter is 26.
That just kept bothering when we were watching it together. It just bothered you so much. Like, why did she is not a teenager? You're not fooling me.
You were so bothered.
The son was 21. No, he wasn't. Did you think about that?
I had to think no, unless he had some disorder or something.
We don't disorder shame around here. But I don't know. It's because it's one of those things where it's like, these people continue to further their career in acting and comedy. Richard Dreyfuss did more things later on, and so did Bill Murray, right? And we see them. We've always felt like they were old. We always said, you ever say that about people of yesteryear, where it's like, well, that person was 32. Dear God, they just look old. They've been through some shit. And the same thing kind of goes with Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. And I'm 36. Like, it's a few years from him and just a few short years from, Richard Dreyfuss's age. And he's full on, male pattern baldness
Steve
and
Martin.
gray hair. Yeah, Steve Martin
hair.
For sure. He grayed early, though.
Yeah, that's just been his eternal look. But you know how you said, this was your introduction to Richard Dreyfuss? For me, it was in Jaws, where he was the shark expert. And I just always remembered him as, the nerdy, very likable scientist.
That's who he was.
Yeah.
I was like, this person looks very familiar.
And seeing him in this, like how you said, he's very uptight, very professional, bit narcissistic.
Narcissistic.
Putting it lightly.
And we'll get into that in just a second. But as far as Richard Dreyfuss is concerned, there's one that I always hear people talking about. And it's Mr. Holland's Opus, that I hear is a beautiful movie. And I want that to be a next one very, very soon. And also Julie Haggerty. So I know people know her in Airplane. But in this one, also, she's around our age, and she's a mom of two. But that's I think of things like that only because me and Alva decided not to have kids. You know what I mean? So we're way past our prime of having kids. And so when I see this, it's like, that's where we should have been that family, on the summering in I forget the name of the town.
Lake Winnipesaukee. I butchered it. It's somewhere in New Hampshire. Yeah. Somewhere very nice.
Okay, so What About Bob is about Bobby, and played by Bill Murray, who is neurotic.
Very neurotic, multiphobic.
Yeah.
Oh God.
germophobic,
Yeah.
agoraphobic,
All the phobics.
Everything.
But as the movie progresses, I realize that he's not any of those things, that he just has control issues. Because then there's those moments where he's motivated enough, but he can be goal oriented. And once he finally fixates on a thing, he'll move past it. And you think, well, maybe it's because of the Baby Steps book.
Baby steps.
It's working already.
Wow.
Doc, the baby steps are working. I can't do Bill Murray, so
I can't do Bill Murray either.
I don't think anyone can do Bill Murray.
But, as the movie goes on, when he finally finds his goal and he's pointed towards it, it's a matter of control. And then, like, towards a second act and for the rest of the movie, it's Bill Murray being Bill Murray. You know what I mean? So it's like Bob evolving into Bill Murray. But not one bit does he still have any of that agoraphobic. Like, it's kind of there in shades. He's a gaslighting, a manipulative. He's terrible. He's a terrible. He's a stalker.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the story beats, like the lengths he went through.
No, go ahead, get into it. Go ahead.
So, he gets referred. Bob Wiley gets referred to Richard Dreyfuss's character, Dr. Leo Marvin, from his current psychiatrist, who's like quitting. He's had enough of Bob Wiley's crap, and he's trying to go on vacation with his family. Nice summer home break, and he ends up faking his death with the call center to try to find his home address. Well, the address for their summer home.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude. It just kind of reminded me of some patients, because I work in healthcare. I mean, I don't deal with patients directly as much.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll give all their full info. I don't deal with as much patients directly as I do now, but back then, like, patients telling me like, oh, like, I'm in this situation, I need to talk to my doctor after hours, and it's like, dude, he did a very terrible thing.
He's the worst. He's the worst of them all. So again, like, I remember being a kid, and when you're a kid, anybody who's like trying to tell you what to do, who's controlling you, which in my eyes it was Dr. Leo Marvin. So I thought Dr. Marvin was the bad guy of the whole movie, right? He's stuck up. He just needs to.
He's very dismissive.
Yeah, he needs to have fun and like embrace. Bob seems like a really, really cool and charismatic guy.
Everyone likes him. Well, almost everyone.
And I fell for it. As a kid, I fucking fell for it. And now as a full-grown adult who has dealt with gaslighting motherfuckers, like, I got a little PTSD watching this shit, because it's like, no matter what Dr. Marvin was saying, and he's saying it clearly, and he is, for the most part of the movie, in the first half, he is being calm, he's being professional, he's being as clear as possible. He's even trying a couple of, like, maneuvers to, point Bob into the opposite direction, and at a certain point, it's going in one ear and out the other for Bob.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, this is just all a test, isn't it? And I don't think there's ever really a moment. There's maybe obviously the bomb thing, but I don't think there's really ever a moment where Bob doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, so I kind of wonder, is he somewhere on the spectrum where he doesn't get the social cues? Like, you're being very intrusive. It's true what Dr. Marvin's saying, that it's very highly inappropriate for you to come seek me out with my family. So that's what I kind of wonder. Like, is he somewhere on the spectrum? Not to look down on anyone on the spectrum, but like, he just did not pick up those social cues.
I think it was more of like, you always hear people, I only want to get treated by one doctor and one doctor only. Because they create in their head that fantasy, that connection, even though like in real life it's not there. Like a parasocial connection that they make with them. So they need to follow that one person everywhere. And I can only see Dr. Marvin because my other doctor referred me and no one else. There's no one else on that list that he said, just go see Dr. Marvin. Dr. Marvin, unfortunately, had to go on vacation. That's just what it is. And even though Dr. Marvin get like, oh, go see my colleague, he goes, no, because you're not leaving anywhere. You just said you're going on vacation. You're still available in my head because I have to connect with you. I connected with you, not with him. So
I wasn't in the medical field. I do pest control. And when I transferred from LA, I left a lot of people who were just like I spoiled the shit out of them. I really, really spoiled people. I still spoil people now. But it's not as often. You got to be, if you have any clients who are listening, because I gave you the link to this podcast.
Yeah.
But when I transferred to the San Gabriel Valley, a handful of people were like, wait, you transferred? Why didn't you tell me? And to the point, I kind of get it, but you're not going to call everybody.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I trained the guy that's replacing me, so you're good, and I'm in communication with him. So, if there's any issues, like you're good. It should be seamless. Maybe nobody's going to be as talkative as I am. So whether that's a good or bad thing, but like you're in good hands because I'm all the way over here. Like I'm not driving 45 minutes or whatever it is to go take care of you. And some people still were like, but could you like come on the weekend or could I just be like a one-off? I'm like, no, absolutely not. When you have a technician, a person who's literally right down the street, you're fine, but I've experienced that where people just, it took a while for it to finally like trickle down where they stopped calling. And I'll talk to that technician. He goes, man, they're still asking about you. They don't call anymore, but they still, what'd you do to them? I mean, but here's the thing. Dr. Leo Marvin isn't super charming.
No.
He barely said anything. It was like during the assessment, Bob's first assessment, that Bob just, like Elvis said, it's a parasocial thing. He just glommed onto him. It's like a codependent relationship. But was Bob a divorcee?
I feel like he was.
Right?
Because he mentioned something about something, but it was only, but then again, I don't know if Bob was just saying, oh, after so-and-so left me and just to be dramatic.
Yeah, because who knows if maybe he just made that up just to pull sympathy points.
You know what? There is one person, and I won't name. There's a person that in my life that Bob really reminds me of because of how like neurotic they are, and they end up like divorcing because of all that. And I look back at it, I'm like, oh yeah. Nobody can really handle being around that person for too long because it's just very like A-type level stuff, and a little bit of missing the cues, right?
A little bit.
I mean, think about it.
I mean, it runs in your family.
Not that bad though.
Yeah.
To that person's extent.
No, but missing the cues, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know. I'm not undiagnosed with something named right.
It cuts deep.
But then Bob somehow manages to charm the family. Here's what pisses me off, though, right? Like, yes, Dr. Marvin is wound up, right? He's stick up his ass. He's maybe as he's not as controlling, but he's controlling, right? And so that's where like some of the similarities between him and Bob are, except that like Dr. Marvin, although he has an ego about him, he's pretty pragmatic. Everyone else is in La La Land. Everyone else is in fantasy land. His family is very sweet, although his son is very nihilistic.
Oh, yeah. He sees like the worst things in everything. I'm like, damn, kid.
I mean, your dad's therapist. Get help right there.
That begs to ask the question, when did you, I tend to call it like, when did you come online, right? When did you realize, oh, I'm this like organism that's going to die? Are you having it now?
Maybe with facing the mortality of chronic ailments that I've come to recently learn of. But to answer your question...
Only because I was taking a drink of tea and the pause sounded so serious.
Now you're psychoanalyzing me and Alva here, so now you're Dr. Marvin.
Yeah.
Maybe through life, you guys just need to take little steps.
Baby steps.
From here to the kitchen, from the kitchen to the door, from the door to the hallway. You were saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's working already.
No, I think to answer your question, I think I was always surrounded by death. Even as a kid, I was always going to like funerals as a kid.
It's getting really serious.
Sorry.
No, I love that phrase.
So I felt like
it was strange and unusual.
Yeah. So I felt like I was always like, oh, people are going to die. Like we're all going to like, there's gonna come a point because I was always around it, so it was normalized in my family.
Yeah, and then for me, similar with the funerals I've gone to growing up as a kid, but then especially when I started, going back to me starting in healthcare, when most of my patients were on the older side, and I'd see them regularly, I'd come to know them personally, very sweet, very kind patients, and then they stopped coming, and then we end up hearing that they had recently passed on. And that's when it hits me, like, not that you'll encounter that any time in the profession, like all the time, but that's kind of a normal thing where, like, yeah, these people, you'll see them, you'll treat them, you'll help them out, but then they're gone.
But your own death.
For me?
Because, here's the thing, like, being a kid, and yeah, sure, you have your great aunts and uncles, and they go off into the ether, but you go, oh, but it's when you're really old that happens. And as a kid, you go, that's never going to happen to me. And so when did you come online and go, oh, wait, I'm going to age. I'm going to get wrinkles. I'm going to get back pain, which I experienced a couple days ago. In other words, like, I had my quarter life crisis, you know, when like I go, oh, my hairline's really receding and these aches are starting to creep on a little more frequently.
I'll just say maybe in the last couple of years, especially again, referring to my recent chronic ailment diagnosis, where I'm like, yep, this is what's going to happen to all of us. Not the same exact thing, but like, you know, hey, we're eventually going to get sick.
I mean, who has regular stools anyways?
Again, it was very normalized in my family to always be like, we're aging, all this and that. It's normal process of like life and everything. So it was never like a negative where no one in your family talked about aging or anything like that. So for me, it was normal to always feel that way.
I felt this kid's pain. Sigmund, by the way, is such a fucking egotistical thing to name your kid. Is egotistical the right word? No. Presumptuous? No. Pompous. Pompous, pretty
pretentious.
Good. Pretentious. Yeah. There you go. We found it.
Like, yeah, they nickname him. They give him the nickname Siggy, but I'm like, but Sigmund though. Like, who names their kid Sigmund? Well, obviously Sigmund Freud's mother.
Yeah,
but still,
what a fucking Jesus Christ!
Like, no wonder why this kid's nihilistic. You gave him that name.
You know what? That's a great point.
He's living up to the name.
By the way, I was around Sigmund's age where I came online and I was like, wait, I'm gonna die. I did still have like the invincibility mindset when I was a teenager, but still like the comprehension of death to that level where I was staring at the ceiling and just like, you know, naming off all like I was a dark kid. I could be a dark kid. Surprisingly, wasn't like emo. You know?
All right. Weird.
What?
Dark kid, but not emo.
Yeah, I know. I would see everyone. Now I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but like I would see everyone in all like their emo garb and their hair, and I'm like, posers. You should really see what it's like inside my brain, my 10-year-old brain.
We'll save that for another day.
The outside didn't need to reflect the inside, is what I'm saying. You know, as I'm wearing a shirt that says "Sacrifice Toby," I'm embracing it slowly. Any whoosies. So Dr. Leo Marvin is not the bad guy. And then everyone just being charmed to death by Bob. And I don't even think that Bob is doing a good job, but also everyone else is just an idiot. Really. Like everyone's just dumb and they're falling for all the antics and all the tricks. And so it's like they're ganging up on Dr. Marvin and he's just at wit's end and everything's going wrong and he has an appropriate crash out. Like one of my fucking favorite lines said at the beginning is after he tries to drive him to the mental facility. Yeah. And he manages to fucking try again. What did I say? I go, fucking Bob rolled a natural 20. Yeah. On charisma. He has a fucking charisma dump stat on that or whatever the fuck the phrase is. And then the mental hospital rejects him. So then Bob has to pick him back up, but he's fuming. Like the greatest part about this movie isn't just Bill Murray being super charismatic, but it's Richard Dreyfuss slowly breaking down. Like the tics are like the obvious thing, but it's the moments where he starts off charming and he's kind of cocky, you know, in the beginning, but rightfully so. Like he has a best-selling book and he's going to get interviewed by a news station or whatever. So like, you know, he's on the up and up. That's fine. But for then like those moments where he starts to see the little more and you know he's a little bit more wide-eyed that he can't believe this crazy person that he just fucking met. So yeah, like if it wasn't for Frank Oz directing this or like fun music that's all very 90s, also great motif throughout the whole thing. I love the musical score, which we don't get anything like that anymore, so bring that shit back. But you know, those moments where Richard Dreyfuss is just slowly, his mental health is starting to slowly degrade. Like, what do you do, honestly, in that situation as a professional, as a fucking psychiatric or whatever he is, a professional, and you cannot win. You use all of your abilities and it just isn't working. You have a crash out. So he has that scene where he just finally hits the brakes and just yells out, "Get out of the car!" It's his fucking. It's like the start of the worst things for the third act of the movie, to the point where he's gonna kill Bob. He's gonna blow him the fuck up.
Kill him somehow.
It's like you hear these stories of therapists or like, you know, always like, I don't know what to do with this person. They're just out of a certain range, either of help or of like they've given so much of the help that's needed, but the person doesn't want to take it.
Yeah, but also again, like Dr. Marvin again clearly set up those boundaries, and it's like, okay, he's got a patient that's not abiding by those boundaries. Clearly broke every single one of them. So of course he's gonna like crash out and then have like a complete breakdown, and everything's falling apart for him. His interview with Good Morning America, I had to look up to see like if it was like a real station, but how Bob ends up taking over that interview. And like, yeah, you could say like, oh, well, he's advocating for Dr. Leo Marvin's treatment, but that took away the spotlight from him focusing on Bob, because it's like, oh, look at the success of this patient.
I mean, Dr. Marvin shit the bed in that interview.
Yeah.
And that's where it just went downhill. I mean, oh boy. But between the two movies, what about Bob and Clifford, right? In the movie Clifford, the Uncle Martin, played by Charles Grodin, who had the bigger crash out?
Ooh.
Because
good question.
I at first reflexively I thought, well, they both attempt to kill their pest. But then I was wrong. Dr. Marvin tries to kill Bob, but Uncle Martin doesn't really try to kill Clifford.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because when he puts him on the ride in Dinosaur Land or whatever, and he cranks up the speed, he just wants to scare him. He just wants to freak him out. You know, it was until it started to crash, then he's like, shit. And then he tried to rescue him. But then he started to contemplate it because, again, just like with Bob, Clifford is another character who has won everyone over. They don't see the little little shit that he is. And so he's like, I'm going to go to jail, which Clifford reinforces. Clifford's not as... Well, Clifford is very, very aware of his manipulative abilities. But no,
Bob
I don't...
isn't.
Right, not at all. Or at least he doesn't acknowledge it outwardly.
Yeah, because, again, we'll get into Clifford shortly.
No, get into it.
But, yeah, he's a little psychopath. Like, he tried to frame his Uncle Martin as a domestic terrorist.
You wouldn't break a promise to a little boy and lie to him, would you, Uncle Martin? Because I wouldn't know what would happen. I wouldn't be responsible for anything that happens.
Also, the plane. The first thing was a plane in the movie. The first thing of, like, violence. Oh, what do you mean we can't stop in Los Angeles to go see Dinosaur World? And, let me just take over this plane. Where he got, blacklisted from flying? That's why he had to stay with the Uncle Marvin?
Martin.
They should have called him Marvin. It sounded better.
That would be funny. Because, like, again...
It's a cousin Marvin.
With Dr. Marvin, it was more from a professional breakdown, psychotic breakdown, versus in Clifford, it was more of a familial breakdown because, granted, it's a nephew he doesn't know very well. He's not very close with. He tries to.
Yeah.
Although he does it just because he's trying to win over his fiance's heart.
I just realized both of these movies end in a wedding.
They do.
And What About Bob?
No wonder why we paired these together.
So we'll close out on What About Bob, right? And What About Bob? Bob completely snaps. He goes into a fugue state.
Bob, or do you mean Dr. Marvin?
Excuse me, Dr. Marvin.
Yeah.
Dr. Marvin completely snaps. Goes into a fugue state, and in the cut, Bob, I guess, proposed to Dr.
His
Marvin's sister.
Yeah.
And during the wedding, during the Forever Hold Your Peace part, then Dr. Marvin starts to become awake and aware, and then they're just like freeze frame credits, da, 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 da. But now Bob's part of the family still.
Yeah, and I'm like, and forever this man and Dr. Marvin's mental health is forever scarred. Like, will he ever recover? Because it ends with like the text saying like that Bob Wiley goes to school to be a therapist. Also, was it that?
Oh, and then he also writes a book, and it beats out Dr. Marvin's book.
And then he tries to sue him.
I kind of want a sequel. They're doing sequels nowadays. You hear?
Well, hey, they're both still around, so you can have a legacy sequel.
But then with Clifford, the thing, and we're kind of jumping around, but like the thing with Clifford is there's this big chunk in the movie where Clifford and his fiance, Mrs. Sarah Davis, played by Mary Steenburgen, beautiful, stunning. I've used charming a million times, but this aptly charming woman. She ages like fine wine, by the way. Mary Steenburgen, who is the wife of
Ted Danson.
Thank you. But there's this Uncle Marvin. Uncle Martin, is way more egotistical than Dr. Marvin is, and he knows he's lying a bunch in order to kind of get his way, and he doesn't want kids, and he's kind of pushing away Sarah, and their relationship, it sort of ends towards the third act of the movie, really.
Yeah, I would have assumed that, like, yeah, they break up.
Because he has an unhideable crash out. Like, that's it. That's done. She doesn't see Clifford as the monster for that he really is, and there's no evidence to support otherwise. And, I mean, if you were in her shoes, you would break it off with him. But the thing, I mean, not that these movies have to make any kind of sense, but the thing that didn't make sense was then after Clifford is rescued by Uncle Martin in Dinosaur Land, it then just cuts to the wedding.
Yeah. I kind of wonder, like, what was it that brought her back to Martin? Like what did Clifford had to, like, woo her to? Because it's pretty clear. Like,
do you think so?
I don't know, because you see, like, he's very attracted to Sarah Davis.
Sarah Davis.
I almost wanted to say
Anything
Mary.
you want, Mrs. Sarah Davis.
But I was like, okay, I thought that's where the movie was going to go, where he was going to, like, try to, like, sleep with her or something.
That, yeah.
Even though he's supposed to be clearly a 10-year-old, but it's Steve Martin.
Which is
that's the joke with this movie is that obviously, why am I saying Steve Martin?
Martin Short.
Martin Short, yeah.
I don't know if he's actually that short in real life, how tall he is.
I'll look that up in a second. No, but he is short.
Okay.
But I realize
it's in his name.
There,
I'm sorry, continue.
But I realize that there are many moments where they had to force the height thing.
Yeah, like you can clearly see, like they try to do a lot of camera shots to make him look shorter.
He's 5'7".
So
he's small.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin Shortish.
You did the thing. You did the thing.
Well, these buttons weren't fucking working earlier.
But yeah, like he's clearly supposed to be a 10-year-old kid. He's got like the schoolboy uniform with like the blazer jacket or and like the shorts. Like he goes to some like
private
boarding school or something.
I mean, some people make it a lucrative look. AC/DC.
Yeah.
Can't knock it. What are they, like 90 years old now? So what's so funny, the way I forgot how this fucking movie opens. It opens in, what is it, 2050?
2050.
And it's, what mansion was it? The Doheny mansion?
No, I'll look at it.
The Stetson mansion or something like that? And it's supposed to be like hyper futuristic, minus like the flying cars, whatever. And Clifford is a priest. He's old, but he's a priest. And he's telling his story as a kid to little young Fred Savage. And this is a young Fred Savage.
Stimson House.
The Stimson House.
So I'm actually looking it up. It's not Fred Savage. It's Ben Savage. His brother.
Oh.
I thought it was
that's why he looked
Fred
a little
Savage.
different. Shut up. They look so similar.
I looked it up and yeah.
Wait, what?
I don't know if they're like twins, but they're definitely brothers.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Fucking Ben Savage is Boy Meets World, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Wow, I really swapped them around.
Maybe that... Nah, I don't know. I was about to say maybe that's why his hair is more curly than Fred Savage, but they both have curly hair.
Yeah, they have different faces, for sure.
But look up young Fred Savage, and they look the same.
It's a Savage kid.
No. You know? He has more of a boyish look to it.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a difference.
I didn't know I was going to get attacked on the looks of Fred and Ben.
You've been corrected.
On Savage Podcast. So anyway, so Clifford is telling his story, and I forgot that it was told. This whole story is like a whole flashback thing, which is very silly, right? I mean, it doesn't really do anything story wise. You know, it's like how you gonna? It's not really a cautionary tale.
No, because this kid just wants to run away, but I'm like, but how does that relate to Clifford? Because he wasn't trying to run away in the long scheme of things. He just wanted to go to Dinosaur World.
They should just take him to Dinosaur World.
If it still existed.
Well, the problem was, like, they were flying to fucking Hawaii.
Yeah, because his dad was doing, like, a conference thing, and he tries to crash the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at one point, Uncle Martin even asks, he's like, what is your deal with Dinosaur Land? And
they never really say why.
He just has this like hyperfixation. Again, another character just like Bob who they have their fixation. It's an unexplainable fixation.
This one is a fixation of inside thoughts into a little dinosaur. It made me do it. It made me do it. It wasn't me. It was. Are you possessed or something?
I thought like the funny thing with this, like the twist is like, well, does he have like a split personality disorder with his little dinosaur
It could
toy?
be, to be honest, because the way he was talking, and it's like, no, it was not me. It was whatever my little dinosaur's name is.
No, I think it was he did it in the guise of like gaslighting. You know, just to piss people off. Like he was a compulsive liar.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and a kleptomaniac because he kept stealing everything. He took, like at the airport when he got picked up, he took someone's dog,
A
stereo,
surfboard.
yeah.
By the way, whatever happened to that dog?
I don't know.
And Uncle Martin didn't even care because the dog just ran away.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, the cat. What happened to the cat?
Oh yeah.
I was thinking, not that like this is a type of movie where you psychoanalyze, you know, this type of shit. But I was really thinking about it because, you know, I'm an adult now and I look at these types of movies and I'm like, what can I relate to and what can I pick out from? Is that Uncle Martin, I think they sort of imply that maybe Uncle Martin is Daddy Martin to Clifford.
Because there is a scene where he's like, was it Mrs. Sarah Davis goes, you guys look very alike. And they pause and they look at each other and...
You know, maybe that would explain why he's not close with his brother because he just left the kid with them. And they resented him for it because they find out that this kid's a total psychopath.
Oh, and probably reminds him of the brother when he was little.
Because
oh my
Uncle
God.
Martin, like his personality is similar to Clifford's. He's always trying to get his way. He's always gaslighting people. He's always lying. There's always an angle and a scheme. He's never forward. He's never not forward.
Clifford is Uncle Martin. And then at the end, he stays with him.
Yeah, he's never upfront about like his true intentions, you know? Yeah, then he stays with them. And it's because of that similarity that he has more of a connection to the real Clifford than anyone else really ever does. Mm-hmm. Except that Clifford doesn't like that he can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's probably why he does save him at the end because he's like, I don't want to let my kid get killed by my dinosaur or mechanical robotic creature. So, no, it's just a theory. Just a theory.
One of the other funnier parts of I mean, it's a great cast, but like Dabney Coleman has such a great career, and for him to play this CEO is very skeezy. By the way, Clifford is one of these movies of the two. Is one of the movies of the two. But what about Bob and this one that I don't think can get made. That couldn't get made today. I'm not talking about a reboot or remake. I'm just saying like if it didn't exist and then somebody tried to make it today, it's kind of weird. You know, it's a very like #MeToo-y and, you know.
Yeah, because like when Clifford goes into Uncle Martin's house, what's the first thing he does? He goes into the shower. Well, not literally in the shower, but he might as well be. He goes to the restroom where
Miss Sarah
Davis is taking a shower. And he's like trying to peek and he puts his little dinosaur in there. I'm like, dude.
I think maybe that was a euphemism.
Yeah.
He's putting his little dinosaur in there.
And then, of course, with Martin's boss, where he's a total sleazebag, which, by the way, I'm like, I know I recognize him in something else I watched, and I remember he was the police chief in Inspector Gadget with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Chief Quigley.
I've first seen him in Beverly Hillbillies.
I know
movie.
he's been like in a lot of stuff, but that's what I always remembered him as a kid. But yeah, there's like a lot of things with the humor in this where you probably couldn't really do today.
No. So yeah, so like with Dabney Coleman's character, like him being like skeezy CEO, the fucking, I mean, he had great comedic timing.
He does.
You know, and that the fucking running joke of his like his wig, you know, to the point where he has a ponytail.
Yeah, it was just funny. Like you just picked that style.
But of the ensemble cast, other than like Martin Short, like I don't think I've ever seen a role where the Martin Short's been in where he's like this level psychotic.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
It's these little choices where he's you know, it's like it's a joke. He's the Joker.
Yeah,
full grin, wide eyes, and everything like that. I mean, and you know, he's dancing and prancing around.
He's just chaos. That's what he is. He's just the embodied spirit of chaos.
In some fucking alternate universe, Martin Short is playing the Joker. God damn it. I want that. Does that exist somewhere? Somebody look it up. Make it AI.
Probably.
Oh my God.
But, you know, with a lot of times when you have Martin Short as your lead or even supporting, then you can't have another person who's as bombastic as he is. And so then you have Charles Grodin, who plays it cool. He plays it calm. But when he fucking is the best is when he's seething. Those fucking like maniacal grins and him just being done with Clifford's shit is the moment that I had the biggest laughs, me personally. I was like, oh my God, Charles Grodin's so good in this, dude.
And I told you guys how like
it's internal me, by the way. Clifford's external me. Uncle Martin's internal me.
That explains so much.
Okay.
But
I know how to handle this now.
But
Dinosaur Land.
I pointed this out. I'm like, yeah, he's also kind of playing the dad from Beethoven, because that's the first thing I ever remembered him, where, you know, he's trying to run his household one way. He wants it his way. Something new comes into his home, which in, you know, Beethoven the dog. And he's just like frustrated. He just wants to get rid of the dog.
So he's slobber.
Yeah. So, but granted, like in this one, he's a lot more manic in Clifford. Like like you see his breaking point to more of an extreme.
Well, I feel like with this one, you got Beethoven 1 and 2 already done. So he maybe already has that like internalized like, and so he finally put it all together for Clifford, which came out in 94.
Like, just tapped into it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Absolutely.
He looks exactly the same way. Well, I mean, it was in the 90s, so. But it's like they kept the same clothing style, hairstyle, and everything.
Oh, man, what a terrible hairstyle. Speaking of which, this is also coming off of watching Moana, but, like, I have a thing for wigs now. And, like, there's so many moments. By the way, nothing beats bad wigs like Samurai Cop.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many moments where, like, you know, Martin Short has, like, fantastic hair for that age. He still has nice hair.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, other moments where it's a wig. So I wonder if, like, what's the reshoots? Yeah, there's a little technical thing I kept spotting. But Charles Grodin's hair is, what a terrible 90s hairstyle. Yeah, this is a fucking helmet head. It was horrible.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any other movie where someone had like that same hairstyle.
I mean, it looked like either like not painted on, but like, you know, Rogained to death.
Could be the hair texture of it.
Yeah. Fair.
But going back to like a point you made earlier, where what was it that brought Sarah Davis back to Martin? Like, what was it that made them reconcile for them to get married? But the other thing that they glazed over, well, they don't even mention is like, well, Clifford, obviously, again, a psychotic little kid. What was it that made him turn into a priest? Like,
that's what I want to know too.
Yeah, like what was his epiphany that made him go down that path?
And then can we also talk about the scene where, like, was it Miss Sarah Davis is in the limo in San Francisco and the boss is just like,
all
over
assaulting her?
Yeah.
Dude, I was so, like, we don't get scenes like that anymore. Not that I'm saying it in any kind of way that I want to, but I was gonna say it was shameless, but at the same time, she like fought for herself and she stood her ground and she didn't just like take it. But it was the audacity of the boss trying again after getting a solid no.
Yeah, and the fact that he still kept going, I'm like, oh no, this guy's more than just a perv. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, like.
He deserves that wig.
If I were to like kind of like, you know, throw a little addendum into the writing, it would be then Martin punches him in the face.
I was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. But no, what is it? Clifford calls in a bomb threat or whatnot.
And gets his uncle labeled as a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
There's so many, again, we're never going to do these movies justice, like, other than me telling you guys, you have to watch these. They don't exactly feel dated. Like, the comedy absolutely hits in both of these films. And whereas, what about Bob? Bill Murray is Bill Murray and his kind of like subtle, like very, again, I used it a million times. What's the word?
Charismatic.
There you go. Then there's Martin Short. And we now know him and, you know, as like the sort of very egocentric, rather eccentric playwright director in Only Murders in the Building. And so it's like, if that's how you only know him now, go back and watch him at his prime, absolute fucking prime. Because in Three Amigos, he has these little moments to shine where he's big, right?
Yeah.
His choices are huge. But to lead a movie where you're the titular character and you can go as big as you want it's like, you know, having Robin Williams or Jim Carrey lead a movie. I don't know or think that Martin Short gets enough recognition the way like those other two do.
No, because I've only ever seen him in supporting roles. I, again, still remember him as a kid. I'll always associate him with Father of the Bride as Frank.
Yeah. Frank.
Loved him in that.
But I'm looking through this, and I mean, there's so many scenes that are more than hilarious. They're more than outrageous. Like, stuff that I don't think I've ever seen in any other comedy that is like, it's the borderline cartoonish, you know? And I mean, dare say, even for the 90s, kind of like fantastically shot.
Yeah.
It's so fucking fun.
Oh, by the way, like a trivia fact, you brought up how one of the sets was place you used to service.
Holy shit. Okay, so I've been doing pest control for 17 years, and if ever I see a house happen to be featured in a movie, a commercial, whatever, like, you service these houses for years, and so you know them like the back of your hand. I remember that happened a couple years back where it was like an ESPN thing, and I go, I know that backyard, you know? Same thing with this movie. There's the scene where they go to the soon-to-be in-laws for Sarah Davis. It's Sarah Davis's family's home.
I'm not the only one struggling with the name.
Yeah, it's the Sarah Davis's family home, and you know, it's the you know, establishing shot. It's the house. It's this mansion, right? And I'm like, I fucking know that house right off from just the frontal look. And I for the next like 5 minutes, I was trying to find a picture. I'm like, proof. You guys are like, we weren't challenging you. I'm like, I know. I just wanted to show you.
So like the shots in the inside where there's like that dinner. Is the actual house. That's not like a set.
No, it's a lavish place. It's a like, you know, wood, like all fucking ornate wood, and it's such a beautiful place. The property is stunning. I'll have to take. I know I have more photos somewhere because we have to do that for our work, but it's a really, really lovely place. But yeah, that's always fun. You know, like speaking of Martin Short, now it's like that one, and then Father of the Bride. I do a couple houses after that. But then again, when it comes to South Pasadena, like, dude, there are so many houses.
Father of the Bride house is so nice.
I think I was doing
So pretty.
Biff's house for a minute.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was doing a house across the street from Pee Wee Herman's house. It's all over the place.
What we do in the shadows?
From down the street from that one, the Halloween house, the Laurie Strode house. I mean, you name it. The Hedge.
Name it, you've probably surfaced it.
Yeah.
Or been around it.
Or known people who maybe own some of those houses. So, yeah, it's a ton of fun. I mean, I don't want to run too long, and I know we talked more about What About Bob than we did Clifford, but yeah, fucking watch these movies. I know some of the people that listen to this have reached out to me, and some of them are like way younger than we are, so like they didn't grow up with these movies, you know? Like, I grew up in the 90s, so I was a kid watching Clifford and watching What About Bob. So like seeing these again, it was so much fun, and it just kind of like harkened back to being a kid. But you guys seen neither of these movies, right?
Me, never heard of them, period.
I've heard of What About Bob, and some of the scenes kind of triggered like a little memory of like if I've seen them. But I'm probably, it's just one of those movies that I just passed by, sat down for a bit, watched it, or clicked on, you know, going through a TV and then it's on. But never like fully sat down and watched it.
What About Bob is a comfort movie for sure. I don't know if I would continue to watch like Clifford over and over, but it's very, very fun. It's, you know what? And I will give this like set building credit. The Dinosaur Land. When they get there, obviously it's like, you know, they probably use a little bit of like Universal backlots and whatever, but then the rest of it's like a matte painting.
Oh, that looks so cool. But
it looks fucking scary.
Terrifying, yeah.
I was like, why can't we have a Dinosaur Land? Now I understand.
But even when he's on the ride, and it starts off almost like a kind of carnival ride, but then it kind of reveals itself to be a fucking roller coaster that goes into like a deep chasm and does all these things, and with the giant T-Rex animatronic, it's frightening.
You know what it reminded me of? That one level in Mario Kart where you go through the caves. And then
yeah, I know the one. So yeah, big props to the set piece on that whole last bit. So as we usually do, and I won't do the music, but we'll play a little bit of YHSD Gets Fresh. If no one's familiar, I'm going to have Alva and Carlos guess the scores on this and give your own personal ratings from 0 to 100, 59 and below being rotten, 16 and above being fresh. Ladies first, Alva, let's get your personal rating on What About Bob and Clifford.
Personal rating for What About Bob, 75. For Clifford, I am going to go give that a 70.
Okay. Carlos, personal?
For What About Bob, I'll give it an 80%. Clifford, 78.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's really, yeah, that's pretty solid. Like comedies usually will fall in that sort of place.
Yeah.
Now, guess the critics. What the critics thought about.
Carlos?
Let's start with What About Bob?
Ooh, I'll say maybe they gave it a 75.
Elva?
73.
And audience?
78.
I'm going to go with 80.
So critics gave that one a 71%.
Okay.
So you guys were on the money with that. And audiences loved it at a 79%. Like, it was a hit. Do you ever remember these movies that aren't these big IPs or franchises that they're so fucking popular and culturally significant to this day?
Yeah, and they're one-off movies, too. Mm-hmm. No sequels.
You gotta have Frank Oz directing it. And now, Clifford. Personal rating? Or I got the personal.
Yeah. So critics, I'll say, I feel like maybe they'll give it a 67.
Mm-hmm. Elva?
I want to say they'll give it a 70.
And then audience?
75.
75.
Dude, critics hated this movie.
Really?
Ooh.
20%.
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
20%. And if I kind of really think about it, you know, if we're comparing, like, What About Bob to this one, What About Bob, like we said, is more polished. Great score. You know, it's, there's no need for much, like, you know, movie trickery. Like, it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
But Clifford, there are some moments where it did feel a little dated. You know, even like having that like opening thing and closing out with being in the future was like, why? What did he have in that for? And you're not really leaning more on story. You're leaning more on just like funny, ridiculous antics.
Yeah.
But audiences loved it at 67%, so just above Rotten. Yeah,
Okay.
Still worth it. Both of these movies hold a dear place in my heart. But I'm gonna choose What About Bob out of the two. Both are actually available free on YouTube. So watch those. Any last words before we close out?
No.
No.
I'm
Right
good.
on. I'm sweating like crazy, so I want to fucking turn the AC on and then figure out what things we're going to watch next on our list of movies. That was an accidental button, but I love that it was some anticipation.
I was about to say, we already decided?
We decided?
Lord of the Rings, we're doing it.
No. Fine.
I wish I had like a ta-da.
Ta-da.
Okay. So go check both of these movies out, and you know, if you have any ideas of maybe something that we should watch next. I know we have our own personal list. Maybe someday soon we'll put that list up because it's vast. What are we up to? Like 187 movies? Or we're slowly ticking them off.
I just did a thing, 180 something, 80-ish
Okay.
movies that we have left to see.
Nice.
There's 210
Oh,
that we
only?
Yeah. And we keep adding every time we have a guest.
I know.
It happens.
All right, no more guests. We're going to watch more of these movies. So let us know what movies are on your growing list of films that has people asking you the question.
You haven't seen that? Why haven't you?
But I'm not in the car.
Yes, my papa. No, my dearest papa.
Look normal, damn it.